something really amazing about both of these cards, because both of these cards are asking you to go within, to listen to that tender heart of yours, to really listen and take it all in. Listen to the wisdom inside of you that knows best. There is this voice inside of you that if you can connect with it, if you can be still, if you can rest, that it will allow those things to really magnetize towards you, because the thing that you need to integrate is this amazing feeling of success. Hello, welcome to your November tarot reading. So October was a month for laying things to rest, for cutting cords and releasing what no longer serves you. The month of November really feels like it's time to rest and integrate. I think so often we release what no longer serves us and then we jump right into the next thing. But I really feel like this month is calling for resting time and integration. So this month I do have 5 cards in your reading. We're doing a current energy, a focus card. We're also going to pull 2 extra cards. One card for what is it that you need to integrate in your life. The second card is what's going to help you integrate that thing into your life. And then the 5th card being guidance from source. As usual, I do have 3 piles for you to choose from. This month, I felt called to the Bloodstone for the first reading. So Bloodstone is this really amazing stone. Actually, I think I used this in last month's reading, yeah. But again, I'm feeling called to Bloodstone, really good for the heart chakra. Again, really good for nurturing feelings of love and healing, compassion, all those things with the heart chakra, but also to help calm any emotions that you may be feeling or any excessive emotions that you might be feeling. For the second reading, I do have Tiger Eye. This is a really great stone for the lower chakras, the sacral and solar plexus chakra. Really good to help revitalize instilling feelings of confidence, motivation, prosperity, and feelings of power. So if you're not feeling motivated, this is always a really good stone. But also to help you feel like grounded and secure. When we're prosperous, sometimes that does make us feel grounded and secure. And then for the third reading, I am using Sodalite. Really great for third eye and throat chakra activation. Really is great to help with emotional balance, feelings of self-acceptance, helps with intuition, clarity, and speaking your truth. So if you know which reading is yours, you can go ahead and click on the timestamp in the description box below. Sometimes I also add that into the comments. But I know that some people really like to kind of listen to all of them and see which reading resonates for them, or apply reading into different areas of your life. You get to choose. I'm just here as a messenger. And then I do want to remind you that these are general readings. If you do want a personalized reading, there is some information in the description box below on how you can book with me, either if you're in Houston, or if you wanted to book with me if you're outside of Houston and you wanted to do an online reading. So we're pulling 5 cards for each of these readings. Now I'll go ahead and get into it because I'm already shuffling the first deck. So again, we're doing current energy. How can your focus best serve you this month? What is in your life that needs to be integrated? How can you best support yourself when you're integrating this thing into your life? I was going to say lesson, but lesson just feels like too heavy, especially for this month. And this month feels like it's going to be a month of really slow moving energy, really trying to go with the flow. Maybe at the end of the month in December feels like it's going to ramp up, or like maybe feelings are going to ramp up, but maybe this is just this reading. So let's see, what is the guidance from source? And okay, yep, definitely see where this is going here. So I'm going to start off with the guidance. I'm like being pulled to all of these cards because I feel like they're all really important. Each one of these cards tells a a story on its own, but together they make up this full energy. And I feel like this is really kind of bringing you into the energy of allowing yourself to be focused and guided into like this singular perfection of this craft that you have, perfecting this one thing, and really focusing your energy, because it does feel like your energy may have been scattered either throughout the year. It feels like there's a lot of projects that you were working on, a lot of things maybe not on purpose. It feels like there were some things that happened for you, happened to you. It really feels like they happened to you, things that you didn't expect to happen. And it did really cause a little bit of disruption in your life. There was maybe a lot of things that caused disruption in your life, maybe not just this year, but maybe it started last year and then it really boiled over into this year. So there was a lot of things on your plate, career-wise, maybe some projects that you were working towards career-wise, in your business. Maybe there was a shift of energy that really happened because it really brought you into this place of completion and ending a cycle. It really felt like the cycle that ended, and now you're kind of wanting to integrate balance and moderation, integrating repurposing. It feels like there was a lot of energy at the beginning of the year, a lot of movement, a lot of discomfort at the beginning of the year. So what needs to be integrated is this feeling of moderation, this feeling of balance, this feeling of alchemy and repurposing. Also healing too. There's a lot of healing that needs to be integrated, especially if you had some discomfort at the beginning of the year, especially not just at the beginning of the year. It feels like the whole year was like one thing after the other, and you were working really hard and you were doing all the things, and really feels like in career, you really were working towards a goal, working towards perfecting something. Source is saying that the thing that you were working towards is still available to you if you want it. If you want it. They're saying that really loud, like if you still want it, you can still have it. The question is, do you still want that thing that you were working towards? Does that thing still interest you? Does that thing still ignite that fire inside of you? If it doesn't, that's fine. But Source is really asking you, do you still want it? Do you still want it? Because there is some application that does need to happen on your behalf. And now you may be saying, I'm hearing you saying, but I already did everything I needed to do. Why do I have to keep doing more? You don't have to keep doing more. You don't have to keep doing more. Again, the thing that you need to integrate, the thing that's integrated, or the integration that's available for you right now, is the ability to rest and then go back to the thing. The ability to start something, slow it down, and then go back to it. The ability to work smarter, not harder, to use the things that you have available to you, because all that momentum that you had at the beginning of the year, all that momentum that came from these challenges, there can't be an answer to a question without the question. The question serves a purpose. And right now, the biggest question is, do you still want it? Do you still want this? Do you still want this integration? Do you still want this feeling of peace? Do you still want this feeling of oneness, not just by yourself? Do you still want this interdependent relationship, this interdependent family, this interdependent business, this interdependent wealth, this interdependent intuition, this interdependence, not dependency, not codependency, not relying on something? Do you still want this? Do you still want this thing that you were working towards? If so, there's a little bit more application to do, but allow yourself to rest, allow yourself to really take in the energy of temperance, the energy of healing, the energy of alchemy, the energy of repurposing. That is really important to say, but the thing that will help you get to this center of moderation, this center of oneness, is going to be knowing that what you want is still available to you. It may not look the way that you want it to look. It may not look come as fast as you want it to, but that's because what you want isn't something that's simple. What you want, well, it is simple, but it doesn't look like what everybody else has, if that makes sense to you. And I think that it does make sense to you. What you want more. You want more than what you're seeing, and you haven't yet seen an example of what you want. You've seen glimpses of what other people have that look like what you would want, but you want something different. You want something that is tangible. You want something that is realistic. You want something that feels really good to you. You want to step into the wholeness of who you are alongside somebody else. You want your partner to be able to be there with you, your kids, your like I'm feeling family stuff. It could be in the career department too. You want it to all flow. If your kids are your projects, if your kids are your pets, if your kids are, you don't have to have kids in order for that to make sense. But you want the things that you care about to also care about you, and you don't want it to be something that just you're working towards. But that's where the moderation comes in. That's where the repurposing of things, that's where you don't have to work too hard for it. You just have to work a little bit smarter for it. And I hate to use the word work because it feels like, again, this is a month of resting and integrating, but allowing yourself to rest and be in this place of knowing that not only is it possible, but knowing that it's coming, knowing that it's available for you, really stepping into this compassion for yourself, but also knowing what that means, knowing that you have to take care of yourself in order for those things to be able to be available to you. Part of taking care of yourself could be rest. Part of taking care of yourself could be listening to yourself more. Part of taking care of yourself could be something as simple as waking up first thing in the morning, putting your hands on your heart and saying, what is it that I want and need in this moment? Something just as simple as that. But that is your reading for the month of November. Tiger Eye reading. Again, Tiger Eye is really good for the lower chakras, the sacral and the solar plexus chakra, but also to help with motivation, to help with feelings of power, feelings of moving forward, also feelings of, I'm going to put this one back because that is really, that's a nice card to come out. If you may have noticed, I've been putting cards back into the deck. I want to see if those cards are really meant to come out. Not testing the universe, but almost testing the universe. I don't know if you guys do that too, to see, was that really meant for me? And what I'm finding is that when I'm putting cards back in the pile, if they're really meant to come out, they do. And so I think that that's important. Sometimes I just go based on my feeling. And so if I feel like that card needed to come out, then it will. So we are doing 5 cards for the month of November. What is the current energy? How can your focus best serve you? What needs to be integrated into your life? How can you best integrate that thing into your life? And always asking for guidance from Spirit, Source, God, the universe, whatever that is for you. Okay. Alrighty. So the guidance from Source right now is to make sure you take care of yourself, make sure you rest, make sure you really listen to your heart, really listen to your heart. The current energy is on going inward. This is your current energy card. This is your guidance from Source. And I think that there is something really amazing about both of these cards, because both of these cards are asking you to go within, to listen to that tender heart of yours, to really listen and take it all in. Listen to the wisdom inside of you that knows best. There is this voice inside of you that if you can connect with it, if you can be still, if you can rest, that it will allow those things to really magnetize towards you, because the thing that you need to integrate is this amazing feeling of success. You have taken a lot of energy, you've had a lot of motivation, you have front loaded the work, really allowing yourself to step back and not to judge yourself, really not to judge yourself or anybody else, or judge the process, or judge what has happened in the past. Really taking that mirror and looking at yourself. Sometimes it can be hard to do that when you take a leap. When you take a leap of faith and you say, you know what, I am going to step forward. I don't know if the net is there to catch me, but I'm going to do it. But there's this really underlying feeling that the net is there to catch you. There's this underlying feeling that you can take a chance, you can move forward, that you can really allow yourself to flow with what is possible for you. When we take time to rest, when we take time to look within ourselves, when we take the time to really listen to that inner sage, to take that inward journey, not only is massive growth available for you, not only is this feeling of things being attracted to you available for you, you get so much more. There's so much more momentum that comes from that, and there comes like this intelligence, almost like this trust that is a lot stronger for you, this trust that maybe you didn't think was available for you, this self-trust to know that whatever step you take, whatever leap you make, that you can't choose wrong, to know that when you're feeling like things are off, that you can trust yourself to kind of step back. And then when you're ready to, you can move forward and really soak in all that hard work that you've done. Really soak in all that success, all that process. Really soak it in. Really allow yourself to do the things that really feel good to you. And it doesn't have to be anything big. Like, you don't have to be somebody who starts a business. You don't have to be somebody who takes on this big art project. You don't have to be somebody who puts all these things together. You can just take care of yourself and have love for yourself, that you have taken care of yourself, have the capacity to celebrate whatever it is that you have done for yourself without it being something big to somebody else. It doesn't have to be something big. I think that sometimes people think, or they feel like they have to follow the rules of what everybody else does. They have to listen to everybody else, and they're not successful unless they do the things that like everybody else is doing. They're not successful unless they're being productive. They're not successful unless they're resting, or even resting. Like, you don't have to do that. You do what feels right to you in your heart. You really listen to yourself and really allow yourself to be a mirror of yourself. And being a mirror of yourself means looking at all the things. Looking at all the things that you like about yourself, looking at all the things that you don't like about yourself, and allowing yourself to really revel in the love of self, revel in really looking at those things. Again, the things that you maybe don't like about yourself, and accepting them, allowing yourself to accept them. It's through the acceptance of self that we can then grow a lot more. I'm not talking about spiritual bypassing. I'm not talking about giving yourself a green light when really you know that there's something else you should be doing. What I am talking about is giving yourself grace, letting yourself really see what is important. Does that email really need to go out? Does that thing really need to be done? Whose schedule are you on? Whose schedule are you on? Is it your own schedule? Are you taking your dreams into consideration? Are you taking somebody else's dream into consideration? When you take other people's dreams into consideration, you're really not honoring yourself. And so really, by honoring yourself, you have to really look inwards first to be able to honor yourself. And then when you do honor yourself, when you do take care of yourself, then there aren't so many feelings of like, am I doing the right things? Am I doing the things I'm supposed to be doing? You just know. And then you're able to give yourself rest before the rest comes to you. When we don't take care of ourselves, when we push ourselves to do things that really aren't right for us, other things can happen in our body, either energetically, and we feel drained, and then life makes you take a rest. So really give yourself the rest before life makes you do it. I feel like that was hard, like that was a really harsh warning. And maybe it is, maybe that's something that some of you guys needed to hear. Maybe that's something that you needed to hear. But really give yourself the time to rest and recuperate. All the re's: rest, recuperate, replenish, restore. I feel like that's important to say, because when you don't rest, recuperate, replenish, and restore, life will make you rest, recuperate, replenish, and restore. So that is the reading for the Tiger Eye reading. So moving on to the Sodalite reading. Again, Sodalite is a really great crystal for truth, clarity, the throat chakra, and the third eye chakra. Sometimes when we see things that we don't want to see, or see things that aren't, our perception is off, our truth gauge can be off too. So what we think is true, what we say or what we believe to be true might not match what we're really feeling inside. So I feel like that's important to say with this reading. So we are doing the current energy for November. How can your focus best serve you? Oh, 2 cards came out. I think I'm going to keep those. What needs to be integrated in your life? How can you best integrate that thing into your life? And always asking for guidance from Spirit, Source, the universe. All right, there are new things that are beginning. And you know what? There's probably a reason that 2 cards came out, because one needs to be clarified. And so the focus for this month is the one that I'm going to talk about. These are the 2 cards that came out. All right. From this thing that maybe is lost, or maybe feels like it's going to tumble to the ground, or maybe has already tumbled to the ground, there is something that Source is asking you to be protective of, to protect yourself, to really take care of yourself. Again, I love the way that this works. I love the way that Source really, pairs these crystals with the reading. There is some sense of truth that's going to come into light. You have been working really hard. I feel like this is similar to the first reading in the sense that there's been a lot of work at the beginning. You're not meant to do everything on your own. It does feel like you have carried a whole lot of stuff on your own. It feels like you have been doing a lot of work, maybe not just this year, maybe not just the last couple of years, but it feels like you've been doing a lot of work and really carrying a lot of weight. And so what is ready to be integrated for you? When something passes and something happens, I was going to say something passes away, but maybe that is the thing. When something dies, when something, whether it's a person, a place, a thing, and I think that this is important because last month we were talking about really laying things to rest, cutting cords. When we cut cords, when we release what no longer serves us, we leave space. We make space. That's what we do when we do breath work. We're making space. We're releasing. We're letting go, and we're moving the things. Like if all your thoughts are up here and all the cognitive stuff, all the things that you're thinking about, the doing, all the things that are up here, when we release them, we make space so that we can get those downloads. I'm doing this because it does come from the crown chakra. It does come from that place of knowingness. And the reason that I'm saying this is because what is left to be integrated for you this month is this feeling of openness, this feeling of just clarity, this feeling of intuition, this feeling of love, this feeling of receptivity, this feeling of everything you've ever wanted really coming to you. And the reason that it can come to you is because you already have it. She's jumping from this chest that's already here. She has what she needs. She doesn't need any more. And that's okay. We don't need any more, but we want it. And wants are just important as needs. I just know that you can't want something. Like I'm getting this feeling like I know that you can't want something if it's not possible for you. The reason that you want it is because it is possible for you. Sometimes we feel like what we want is not as important as what we need, but that is bullshit. What you want is possible for you, and it is just as important as your needs. And I would even go as far as to say it's equal to your needs. And sometimes I might even venture to say a little bit more, that it is maybe more necessary than our needs. What we want is, because you're always going to want more. You are. It's the nature of life. The nature of life is to want more. That is what causes the motivation. That is what causes the forward momentum. We talk a lot in spirituality and in these spiritual circles about being happy, and that's great. That's true. But fear is necessary for driving us forward. If you don't have the necessity or the want to move forward, then forward momentum sometimes it doesn't happen. And the fact that the fire engine just went off, not just because they're across the street, I think is a really important message, because how do you integrate that? How do you integrate that? There's a lot of intuition in this reading. There's a lot of spirituality in this reading. There's a lot of living from your truth, living from your wants, your needs. And at the end of that, Source is saying that there is something new that's ready to begin. There are endings that are happening. I think that Spirit has a different, well, I know that they have a different timeline than we do. Their sense of time is different than our sense of time. And that's because they have an overarching view. That's because they are able to see more than what we're able to see. I don't believe that our future is predestined. I believe that we have a hand in that. What you believe is maybe different, but I do believe that we have free will, and sometimes we can make things a little bit more difficult for ourselves than what needs to happen, but sometimes we do that to ourselves because we're going to appreciate it all the more. And that's why when things are built on a shaky foundation, they're not able to stand. Sometimes having those things that are built on that shaky foundation fall really allows us to step into what we really want in the future, what we really want right now, and to be able to really defend that idea, defend our passion, and maybe not just defending it from other people, but defending it from ourselves. Like, is this, again, that question that came out in the first reading, if you watched it and you're watching this reading, the question, then you maybe needed to hear this question again. Do you still want that thing? Do you still want that thing? If so, again, it is possible for you. There is a new way of looking at love, at intuition, at creativity. There's a new way of looking at it. There's a new thing that's coming from that. And there are new possibilities, new opportunities available to you, especially right now. But there is this feeling of attracting that thing to you, really dipping into that emotional balance and really allowing yourself to be balanced, your emotions to be balanced. And I feel like right now the only way to do that is to let yourself chill the fuck out. You are almost there. Once the things happen that are beyond your control, know that there is still this possibility available for you. Know that there's nothing that you can't do, be, or have, if you still want. So those are the readings for the month of November. I hope that these readings resonated for you. And if they did, be sure to let me know. That's it for now. I'll see you next time. Bye.